Good morning. My name's Steve Fowler and I'm the Prinect Color Specialist for Heidelberg UK. Welcome to Drupa 2012 and welcome to our classroom session on Prinect Color Solutions, fast and consistent print quality. So reaching a good sheet quickly and then onto production at top speed. Really our mission statement at Prinect Color Solutions. And of course, is a desire really of all printers. But the question is it an illusion or is it really possible? And if it is possible, how do I get there? And that's why I'd like to invite you to make a step forward as we learn more about the capabilities of our Heidelberg Prinect Color Solutions. So I guess the first question to ask is, what is the correct colour? The correct colour is a colour that the customer wants, yeah? It's a colour that satisfies the customer. And of course, one of the difficulties is that can be a customer supplied proof. It could be approval on the printing machine, perhaps printed samples, maybe Pantone specifications or HKS, or density values, or even specified LAB values. So one of the problems that we all face is that the criteria of course changes from job to job. But our experience tells us that the path to optimum colour quality and maximum productivity is of course standardization. And the industry is helping us really in this area with moves now towards distributed print, digital photography, and the standardization generally requirement to print to define print standards. Now the good news is that the way to the correct colour, or the path to the correct colour, is determined by you. Now the most inefficient way of reaching colour is to make adjustments on the press. You know, it just costs time and costs waste sheets. And the better the preparation, the quicker the print. And it's really vitally important that only proofs and data and plates reach the printing machine that have been optimised for colour setup in a minimum number of steps. I'd like to discuss briefly with you this slide here indicating the inking process. With our start point here, a good optimised pre-setting, which includes of course ink and dampening, ink key pre-setting, good pre-inking and de-inking. We can reach, this line here represents a sellable sheet, and we can really reach a sellable sheet within the first pull, just with good pre-setting, before we go anywhere near perhaps colour measurement, which of course is then used to get the colour exactly to where we want it to be consistently, job after job and time after time. So the importance of good pre-setting must be appreciated. So let's discuss briefly the roadmap to process optimization. There are of course two things we need to do. One is reaching the quality in the first place, and the second one is of course keeping that quality consistent. So reaching the quality, establish standardized processes. That means not only determining a standard that you want to print to, but of course it extends into standardization of consumables, from inks, blankets, fount solution. It's perhaps categorizing paper class and rationalizing your screening systems and so on. SIP data, pre-setting data, and the printing press in conjunction with optimized ink key pre-setting curves is vitally important. Use of appropriate print control elements. Of course, if you want to control colour, we need to be able to regulate it, we need to be able to measure it. And this extends also to mini spots, which can be used for further quality evaluation and for corrections further on, later on in the workflow. And of course, training and documentation is also very important. Once we've reached our standard, we're into the area of keeping the quality consistent, which brings us to the topic of an ink regulation system, or ink regulation device. Provide exact, fast and objective colour measurement. Of course we need to monitor and record the results. Increasingly these days, customers perhaps are requiring evidence that a job's been printed to a particular standard. So it's important that we have a mechanism within the workflow to be able to monitor and record the results. And of course we need to be in a position where we can adapt to varying print conditions. And we know through environmental changes and other changes in the print room with paper types and powders and coatings and so on, that the print result will vary, and we need to be able to adapt to that before our quality suffers. So I'd like to discuss these areas really one by one, step by step. I'm guessing most of you here have CTP, and as such you're taking those plates to your printing machine and you're enjoying with that fairly good register. Now the area of ink key presetting that I've mentioned, we use exactly the same data that we use to image the plate effectively to preset the area coverage on the printing machine. This, in conjunction with ink key presetting curves, is absolutely fundamental in optimum productivity. In conjunction to ink key presetting, every Heidelberg machine comes with, well, we have to consider software as well, of course. Good de-inking, good pre-inking. The green light technology of Heidelberg presses, where adjustments to the ink keys is indicated to the operator when those have been fully implemented. And calibrated ink key presetting with good ink and dampening and so on can reduce the colour setup time significantly, and of course ultimately saves time and waste sheets. Following optimum presetting, we move into the area of ink regulation. If we want to control colour, we need to be able to measure it. And if we take, for example, a B1 press with 32 ink zones, if you're controlling that density by hand, you would conceivably have to make 128 measurements if you're measuring 4 colours in every ink zone if you were doing this by hand. It just simply wouldn't happen. Our colour measurement systems provide automatic online regulation of all ink zones. This provides truly consistent, repeatable and of course predictable results. And of course those results are independent of the operator or shift. They also provide centralised quality reports. And of course we have spectral control for process and spot colours. And they'll also indicate on the operation screen, integrated process analysis, we can see information immediately about our inking, our solids, tonal value increase, dot gain, grey balance and so on. Quality control, we mentioned, the ability to be able to judge the colour quality of a job. We have our Prinect Color Toolbox, and the measurement information from our measurement systems can be automatically fed into our Color Toolbox for analysis and for correction later on in the workflow if necessary. And of course, because our devices are spectral, they're measuring colour, we can also use them to help us with other areas of colour management, such as proofing, ICC profile generation, and so on and so on. So I'd just like to put some Heidelberg product names to some of those areas. The CTP device is our supersetter, and you may be interested to see our supersetter dual cassette loader, which is just over to my left here. It's being launched at the show. We have our Prinect Press Room Manager. Now I've mentioned presetting area coverage information to the printing machine, but actually Press Room Manager does far, far more than that. Everything that happens on the printing machine is recorded, all of that live machine data. So make-ready times, running speeds, good sheets, waste sheets, so on and so on, shift reports, all of that good stuff. If we add to the printing machine a colour measurement system, That colour measurement information is also fed back into Press Room Manager and stored with the job reports, so you can check every job that's been printed and look at the colour quality. And this happens automatically without the operator having to do anything else. Our Speedmaster presses, of course, throughout the hall. We have in our Prinect Color Solutions area, just behind you here, our Prinect Access Control and Prinect Image Control. And we also have, of course, our Easy Control and Impress Control. Prinect Color Toolbox, a standalone application that runs on a PC that enables us to analyse our measured data. And we can measure pretty much anything with any instrument. And we can feed the necessary corrections back into pre-press for plate correction, for instance. So, of course, we've learned that standards really are the basis for efficient printing. Optimised colour quality and maximum productivity is a result of standardization. And if we talk about industry standards, with Heidelberg, we're in safe hands. We have, of course, the ISO 12647-2 print standard, and we have the G7 black hole grey balance standard. And both of these are supported by Heidelberg. We've introduced a new G7 colour bar that enables us to regulate solid inks in every ink zone. And we also have a 50-40-40 grey patch in every ink zone. And we can choose to regulate the inking from either solid colours and through the integrated quality analysis software make judgment on grey balance, or we can choose to regulate through grey balance if we prefer. And we have, of course, the 12647 colour bar, again with a solid patch in every zone, in addition to dot gain patches of 20, 40, 80 to enable us to have fairly comprehensive reports on dot gain and so on. Interestingly, both of these standards really have the same roots actually. The C-Lab values for both ISO and G7 are the same. The difference is really in the idea for how dot gain and grey balance is handled. ISO specifies very explicitly solid colour values and dot gain curves, and stipulates that good grey balance will result if those conditions comply. G7 will actually adjust the cyan, magenta and yellow curves if necessary to achieve good grey balance. So just a slightly different priority. Ink saving is quite a hot topic really at the moment, and you're probably aware of various vendors offering solutions for saving ink. These systems work through grey component replacement or under colour removal, where we're reducing our expensive cyan, magenta and yellow colours and really replacing them with black. The good news is that with Heidelberg Prinect, the ability to use ink saving through so-called device link profiles is absolutely standard in the workflow. But you know, the benefit is not only ink saving. The real benefits for ink reduction are really the production benefits that it provides, with reduced drying times, reduced set-off, marking, easier finishing and so on. So at Heidelberg we appreciate the importance of ink reduction. We provide the ability to do it included in our workflow as standard. We also, of course, through grey component replacement or under colour removal, achieve higher grey stability, better neutrality. If you're reducing your cyan, magenta, yellow and increasing your black, you will have more stable grey. And the device link profiles that we use to undertake this function can be generated from our Colour Toolbox software. But you know, hardware and software is not the be-all and end-all. And our print colour management service from Heidelberg, or your business relationship with Heidelberg, you're really benefiting from our experience and our expertise and colour competence, really. So print colour management are a range of services that Heidelberg offer, providing consultation and training, both before, during and after the visit. So with Heidelberg, we send technicians from both pre-press and press in together into your print shop to optimise these colour settings. We have services, print colour management services for presses. We have print colour management services for proofing. We also have a certification to the 12647 standard. And this is a Heidelberg certification for Heidelberg customers, a very robust and comprehensive certification to the 12647-2 standard. Where sheets are printed, you print sheets at your print shop, and they're sent to Heidelberg in Germany here, where they're evaluated and measured, and if they pass the criteria, a certificate is issued. And we have, of course, our consumables range, Saphira, where the products are tested and released specifically for Heidelberg machinery. We consider the international standards like our ISO and G7 in the development of our consumable products. And of course, we're also exploring and testing and developing coatings and special applications. So it's hardware, software, workflow, expertise, services, consumables. And all of these add together to complement us in our closed loop colour management workflow, from pre-press through CTP into the printing machine with optimum pre-setting, through colour measurement, through ink regulation, through feeding that colour data back into Colour Toolbox for analysis, or back into Press Room Manager for comprehensive reports, and then back into pre-press for adaptations and so on to colour settings if necessary. And I should also mention that, and I think it's important to say that Heidelberg's Prinect Color Solutions are not only this fully comprehensive closed loop system. Every Heidelberg product that you buy gives you a part of Prinect. So if you buy a Heidelberg press center with our press center software, with the de-inking, pre-inking, pre-setting curves, you're buying a part of Prinect. This will be complemented beautifully with our Heidelberg CTP and pre-press system. So it's a very modular system, and every part of Heidelberg that you buy, you're buying a part of Prinect. I just wanted to finish with one or two of the new features that we're including in our Prinect Color Solutions at the show here, Drupa 2012. Prinect Press Room Manager, improved quality reports. With a colour measurement instrument, every sheet that's measured is recorded. And you can look back through your jobs and you can check the colour quality of every job. And these jobs are stored permanently in our Press Room Manager in an Oracle database. You imagine the difficulty or the challenge of actually providing evidence of a job quality or job's compliance to a standard without having an inline measurement system making the measurements for you. We have our new Color Assistant Pro on our Prinect Press Center for even more efficient and effective optimization of the ink key pre-setting curves. We have both with Prinect Access Control and Prinect Image Control support of our new grey balance G7 colour bar. And Prinect Image Control are multicolour support for 5, 6, 7 colour printing. Prinect Color Toolbox, enhanced grey balance optimization. This enables us to not only iterate or update our calibrations based on dot gain, but we can also optimize our plate calibrations based on grey balance. And of course our new G7 colour bar supplied as part of our so-called Dipco digital print control elements package. All of these products are being shown today behind you in our Prinect Color Solutions area, and I would invite you to come and take a closer look. And in the meantime, I wish you a very enjoyable Drupa, and thank you very much for your time.